Okay, so I hope y'all can kind of lighten it up. Okay, so trying to put some light so we can. Somebody's actually moving out. Of the apartment. They got a U-Haul, so that means that they ain't been. Well, maybe they was kicked out, but they had time to get their stuff together. So that's the first time I ever saw somebody moving out. I think I saw somebody moving since I was living here, but that was like in the beginning of 2019. No, I moved here July 2019. So okay, so I got cream cheese. Let me see. We're going to. So I'm gonna talk a little bit. I cannot. I'm gonna take these off. Hopefully, I'm not connected. I got another chain. I don't know whether y'all remember or whether I did a video on this chain. I did do a video because it came from Rod's box, and it is a mass chain, but I use it for my glasses. I mean, how the crazy you supposed to put a chain on a mask? And why would you have a? And who had a chain on the mask? But anyway, so today is Wednesday, 2000 Wednesday, September 1st. 2021. So I was going to curl my hair. Actually, just the front part of my hair. Because for some reason, this little piece seems to not want to hold curls. and I was gonna talk some. So I think I told y'all a little bit what happened Sunday with Michelle, but I didn't tell y'all her situation. And what went down with her. Wait a minute, hot. So we got that. Excuse me. Ooh, baby, hot. I never really. This is like my non-dominant side, so I can't really get all the hair in it like I would like I can do on that side with this hand. So I don't know. Okay. So I think I got a curl in here. I don't know how it progressed, but that's cool. All right. So we got that. That's it. I don't need to curl too much because I'm going to be in the house. I just felt like curling since I'm sitting here. I just curl while I'm sitting here. finger is burning. All right. What's the name? It's really. Now, if y'all watched me yesterday, you'll saw me put some. What's the name underneath? I thought it had fell. So we just gonna leave that be. So let's put on my specs. Oh, come on. I knew it was gonna fall. I should've. Let me turn it off, because that's all the curling I'm going to do for now, because I ain't going nowhere. Okay. Oh, I burnt myself. Let me put my. Anyway. So now, I don't think I told y'all the situation about Michelle. So I'm just going to put a little bit of stuff in there because I want to put my spiritual insight in it. And y'all entitled to your opinions, to your comments, because if it ain't positive, it ain't gonna do nothing to me. I let y'all know in advance. Any of my videos that y'all listen to that y'all feel like y'all disagree with me, y'all don't like what I say, whatever, I understand. Because my opinions is always gonna be my opinions. My decisions is always going to be made based on God, making them for me. And if it's positive, I will take it in. You know, even if your opinion that you're saying is negative, but you present it in a positive manner, I'll listen to it, you know? And maybe it will change my mind or give me another outlook or insight of the situation. But any negativity that comes towards you, that comes towards me, my Holy Ghost blocks and doesn't allow it to get in my spirit. You know, I would appreciate be no profanity or nothing on my line, because I don't curse. You know, I don't even think I use too many curse slangs or whatever, but if I do, it's a slang. I'm not going downright curse, because my life is to represent Christ, not to represent me and my feelings. So, I guess that was the disclaimer. With that being said, moving right along. So now, for those of you who may follow me or have listened to my videos and my previous videos and heard me speaking about Michelle, and you know, positive, maybe at times it may have been negative, but the truth is the truth. That one kind of falling. All right. The truth is the truth, so. She was saved, right? She was saved, sanctified, and baptized with the Holy Ghost. She had came to me one time. She said, I need to talk to you, Sister Jordan. She said, I went and had sexual relations with a gentleman. Mind you, this time that she did that, she was with her husband in the same house, maybe not sleeping in the same bed, but in the same house. So, I know I kind of got distracted because somebody said something last night about me being a bully. And now that I'm thinking about it, I said I didn't even elaborate on it. I didn't even say nothing. And everybody picked their thing, but my untruth was 2 truths and 1 untrue. And somebody picked the untruth. Somebody picked the untruth as something that was truth and picked the truth as untruth. So the untruth of me was that I'm a bully, which I'm not. And the person said that can't be, that's true. So that can't be not true because I am a bully. She is a bully. Oh. 2 other people was like, no, she ain't no bully. She's a sweetie. But, hey, my demeanor, my aggressiveness maybe make people seem like I'm a bully. But, hey. But anyway, I didn't get into it. And I'm thinking about that's where my thought went. I was like, wow, I let that ride. But I leave it because Jesus, the Holy Ghost is the leader of my life. And when he don't initiate me to speak on something, he takes it out of my memory. So I didn't really realize what the guy said, but then after he said it, I didn't emphasize. And it may have looked like the reason why I didn't emphasize was maybe I was a bully, but it wasn't about me. So now that I'm thinking about it, I felt the Lord took it out of my memory. Didn't allow me to elaborate. It didn't allow me to address the man. Didn't allow me to say nothing because that showed them that I really don't pay attention to what people say about me. I really don't care what people say about me. You feel I'm a bully? I'm a bully. But inwardly, I know I'm not. But I had to go through some things in my head where I may have came up to some situations where in my life where I may have bullied somebody. You see what I'm saying? But I guess it's based on the fact of me wanting something and I didn't get it at that time. So what I said, I did something, I tortured the person. I beat up the person. I ain't gonna say I did beat up the person. But that's a story. That's another story. That's for story time. So now back to Michelle. So she told me about what she did, and she was like, I want to go back to the altar. I was wrong. And I specifically told her, Michelle, You know, of course, I put my inside, my spiritual inside, told her she was wrong, whatever. I said, but that's understandable because I did it. And these things do come upon you. And if you're not strong, you will fall. You will go into it. So that's what you did. I did it too. So who am I to judge you? But since you're saying that you're going to go back to the altar, then you're doing the right thing. So let's say she interacted with the guy maybe about 2 weeks ago. Maybe 2 weeks ago or a week ago. So now she's talking to me and she's telling me what she's going to do and how wrong she feels. And she's going to make it up and she's going to get it right with God by going back to the altar, etc., etc. See, the thing with Michelle talks too much. And it's okay to talk. It's okay to talk a lot. Don't get me wrong. It's okay to talk too much. But when people talk a lot, you have to look at their motives and why they talking so much. So what is the reason why she's talking so much? So when I say talking so much, I mean she went and wanted to talk with somebody else. Now, don't get me wrong. You could talk to your pastor, whatever. But you already decided that you're going back to the altar. So that's between you and God. So you decide you're going back to the altar. Go to the altar. You ain't got to tell nobody why you going, your reasons for going. Why are your reasons for going? You don't have to feel guilty for going because the altar belongs to the Lord. And any place is the altar. Whether it's in the church, whether it's at a bench, whether it's at a chair. You can go to the altar in your house, but eventually you got to go. You got to come. I'm sorry, I can't really see what's going on, but I see the notification. But you still have to come to God, and you still have to, interact in the church. And you will have your witness, etc., etc. We'll leave that be. So now, she goes to the pastor. She talks to the pastor, right? Which is okay. You talk to the pastor, right? But I really think the reason why she spoke with the pastor because she was feeling guilty. And she ain't want nobody to think different of her. So therefore, to keep people from thinking different from her, let me go to the pastor. Let me tell the pastor what I'm doing. So if anybody says something to the pastor will know already. The pastor will know already, right? And since the pastor's going to know already, I feel at ease now. Because she's going to set everybody straight. Because her being the pastor, somebody's bound to go to the pastor and say, oh, look at Michelle, she's on the altar, what she done did. And so in her head, in Michelle's head, she's thinking, okay, so if somebody say something, Pastor Glover going to be like, well, leave her alone. If that's what she want to do, then leave her. She going to have her back. Not worrying so much whether God got her back, whether God is there for her, whether even God is going to forgive her and take her back, So she goes, now mind you, she had already done talked to me, so now she goes and she talks to the pastor. She don't say nothing to the bishop because she got issues with the bishop. So she's not going to say anything to the bishop. Which in all right, you should. Because the bishop, I feel, is the one that's over your soul. The pastor got her job or his job. But the bishop is the one that watches over your soul. The overseer, whatever, I don't know. Or maybe I got it all wrong. I'm sorry, ma. My thing got caught in my clothes. So, okay. That being said, so now she goes to the altar. Now, mind you, this is the purpose of. Oh, this was too long. I should have curled that, right? But we're gonna leave that. That go back there. So I specifically told her, I said, all right, Michelle, you're going to the altar. I said, but if that's what you want to do, you do that. I said, but when you go to the altar, that is telling God that you're not going to do it again. That's telling God you're not going to do it again. I know, Sister Jordan. I said, so you can't go to the altar and you know you're going to still deal with the guy. Because at the time, the guy that she with now is the same guy that she interact with at that time. So when I'm thinking about it, well, okay, you dealt with this guy, you did what you did, and that's it. That was just the heat of the moment, and you sinned, and now you asking God for forgiveness, and you're not going to do it no more because it was a heat of a moment. It didn't have nothing to do with how you felt. And if it was a sexual heat of the moment, you get down on that altar and you stay on the altar until God removes that sexual need from you for that man. Because you are constantly living with your husband. Now, I want y'all to understand, I have no issues with sinners. My issues is with saints that are doing sinners' actions and then want to act like they didn't commit a sinful act. So now if God saves us from sin, then that means he separates us from the sinners. That's why it's called saints. And that's why sin is in the word of sinner. But sin is not in the word of saint. You see what I'm saying? So now once you become a saint, you become free from sin. So that means God has freed you from the nature of sin. But the ability of sinning comes from you. Because once he put his Holy Ghost in you, his Holy Ghost is going to lead and guide you into every truth of his word, as well as every truth of this earth that we live on, because we don't know how to live down here. We don't know how to live in a spiritual world. And even though we got flesh, even though there, go, I'm doing something right now, go. Even though we got flesh, this is flesh, whether it's white, green, well, let me be realistic because ain't nobody green unless they paint themselves green. Unless it's white, even though it's brown, somebody may be black, somebody may be Caucasian, those are nationalities. Black, Caucasian, African, what's the other one? Hispanic. Those are nationalities. So a Caucasian and Hispanic can look alike in skin, but their nationality, their culture is different. So now, even though we may have these different skin colors, or we may have different cultures, different nationalities, different backgrounds, the fact still remains that when God comes in of a sinner's life, he does not have respect of person. That's why his word said there's neither Jew nor Greek, circumcision, uncircumcision, bond or free. You see what I'm saying? Christ is all and in all. So he doesn't care about your nationality. He doesn't care about your culture. He doesn't care about the color of your skin. He doesn't care about where you came from, whether you are a free man or whether you're a free man out on bond or whether you're free. You know, when you're on bond, that means that the city still got a hold of you, right? Whether you're born or whether you're free, Christ is all in all. You accept him in, you want to serve him, he is all to you. Right? The song that came to me was, Jesus is all the world to me, my life, my joy, my all. He is my strength from day to day. Without him I would fall. When I am sad, to him I go. No other one can cheer me so. When I am sad, he makes me glad. He's my friend. So the song went through all the stages of how we in the carnal aspect of life go through things, and he'll still be our friend. He doesn't have no respect of person. So now, she's a saint, did a sinful act, went to God and asked God for forgiveness. God forgave her and gave her the Holy Ghost. She didn't have to wait long. There was no long line. There was no long time. She was sincere, broken contrite spirit, and God forgave her and filled her again with the Holy Ghost. So now, go on for years, whatever amount of years it was, but she's still dealing with the guy. I didn't know that. So I'm still behind her. The Lord is still working with her, and I'm there not knowing that she's still dealing with the guy. But everybody, well, I ain't gonna say everybody, people in the church is not, certain people in the church is not really feeling her and all this stuff. But maybe they knew, maybe God showed them her. So they was not really into her. They would shut her down. They wouldn't let her lead the service and all that stuff. I'm not knowing that she with the guy. But God knew it. And just like I said, maybe God showed the leaders, the bishop, whatever. But then as time went on, our pastor started gravitating towards her and, using her, whatever the case may be. But it had gotten to the point where when she be asked to do stuff, she would say no, and then she'll turn around and want to be arguing. She telling me that she want to be fussing and feeling some kind of way because somebody asked her at a specific time in a specific way. Why don't you go on over there and use this person? Why? All that yang, and I'm still not getting it. Because I'm busy telling her, it doesn't matter when they call you. If you feel like your calling is to lead the service, whenever God opens the door for you to lead the service, you go lead the service. You don't sit back procrastinating and putting your opinion on the situation when God already is in control. But I'm still not getting it. So, time goes on. She backs off from me. I think I got videos in reference to that. She backs off from me. She started throwing stones at me. When I say throwing stones at me, I don't mean in so many ways as talking about me in a negative way. It says the stones that she's throwing is separating herself from me. When I would speak to her in a godly manner and I am witnessing her. Now I see that's why I was witnessing to her. And I am telling her that regardless of what's going on with your husband, the whole thing is that you got to give it to God. If you give it to God, God will work it out. God is not going to let you be in a situation that is toxic and he don't remove the toxic. Right? He don't remove the what is it? What's the word? You're in a toxic situation. He don't let you stay in there. He comes in and he removes the germs, or he removes whatever it is that's making it toxic. Even if you making it toxic, you stay before him. He starts working on you. He starts clarifying your mind. He starts giving you patience. He starts giving you love so that you can deal with the toxic situation and it don't become toxic no more. Now he open up your eyes and let you see that it's you in some aspects that's making the relationship toxic. So once he work on you, now he's able to work on the man. But if you is trying to control a man and trying to control the situation, and you're not even using God, you see what I'm saying? You're not even allowing God to work through the situation. You know, what I mean is that in my situations with my husband, I'm always putting God in it. I'm always putting God first. I'm not throwing God at him, but I'm always saying I thank God. God is giving me patience with you. He's allowing me to understand you. So that's why I'm able to deal with you. Because see, he knows from 2012 or 2011, one of them years is when he came back to New York City and we got back together. Because we got married in 83 and we separated in 86. So we was separated more than we was married. But he had to come back, and when he came back, I was saved, but I wasn't into the Lord like I should be. So the enemy had control over some of my mental cells. The enemy had control over my feelings. The enemy could easily possess me and allow me to do and say things to him that was not a saint tongue. So as I grew and as God worked on me and I began to grow in the Lord, he got to see it. So all the fussing and arguing I don't do anymore. And this is God's way of letting him see God through me, so he don't have no excuse for not wanting to come to God. So now Michelle wasn't doing that. It was all about how she felt and what he wasn't doing for her. And I'm not, maybe it was a sexual thing as well, but the thing is that it was always fussing and arguing, which a lot of things I didn't know. So now, if you wrap in your mouth and saying things and doing things, and he's coming at you in that manner, then you have to learn how to deal with the man by keeping your mouth shut. If you know that things you say based on how you feel, and how you feeling is based on the things that has been going on for 5-6 years, now you want to bring it out on him and you want to say what you feel because now you saved. So now I'm going to open up my mouth because I'm saved, because I know God got my back, and I'm going to let you know what's going on because you ain't supposed to be doing this because I'm saved. He don't care nothing about your salvation because you ain't been living nothing for the past 5 years. So how he going to respect the God in you if you ain't living nothing? Now, if you living something and he ain't respecting the God in you, that means you're being persecuted for Christ's sake. Because God is in you and you doing everything that God tell you to do in reference to him, and he is fighting against it because of the good in you and the salvation in you. Now that is a trial and that is a persecution. And you keep going through it. You don't get up and run. You don't leave. You don't call no cops. Because what's the cops going to do in a spiritual situation? This is a spiritual battle. The cops don't see the spiritual battle. They see the carnal battle. And they see a husband and a wife having a dispute, which turns into domestic violence. Then he gets kicked out the house. He got to go to court. Now you feeling all guilty. Now the kid's telling you it's your fault. So now you feeling guilty. Now you want to be all loving to the man and da-da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da-da. Because you feeling bad. But it's already done now. Now you got to suffer the consequences behind it. So instead of suffering it and getting it cleared up and apologizing for the wrong that you did and not focusing on the wrong that he did, you want to now the truth of the matter of you interacting with another man, now you want to bring it to the surface. Now you want to tell me. So now I'm saying to myself, wow, now I see why she is separating herself from me. Now all that time she throwing her stones at me, I'm feeling bad, I'm near tears, I'm upset with her, and she care less. And that's what her husband said. She ain't got no kind of feelings about nothing, Sister Jordan. So once I found that out, way before the last straw hit the ground, she let me know that she was dealing with the guy, but in so many words. And I said, is this the same guy that you interact with in the beginning? Say, yeah. And how it came, what made me ask that, because she said that she been dealing with him for over 3 years, and now we in the 4th year. This whole thing's getting on my nerve right here. I'm gonna have to curl that up. So she So she messed around with this guy for over 4 years, over 3 years, let's put it that way. So now God has started opening up my eyes, start letting me see things and stuff like that, giving me a better understanding, helping me to discern her spirit and all that. Now, mind you, God still worked with her a couple of times in the church, used her and all that stuff. Send warnings to the church through her to people, and things started happening to people because God was sending a warning. And then after a while, God sat her down. She talking about she sat herself down. No, God sat her down. God sat her down, and to the point where the devil took over, where the evil thoughts and the evil spirit that she had was overpowering her in such a way that God couldn't get through to her. And see, that was all in God's plan, because he wasn't going to use nobody that was committing sin, committing adultery. Right? So God sent the message to the church as well as to her about the sinful nature. And I kept talking about, sexual activities and how you're doing sexual activities. You know, it was just so much on the sexual part. God kept me on that. And I kept talking about it. You heard that right there, baby boy, hot. Ooh. Okay. So, all right, sorry about that. Okay, I got that curl, so that can't bother me no more. All right, let's turn it on. Okay, so now, let's get to the point of the video. So we go on. So the Lord had me bring the message about the sinful nature. I started breaking down different things, but just like I said, he had me focus on the lying a lot, and he had me focus on the sexual activity. So the sexual activity is your actions that you're doing in sex, and also the fact of just having sex, committing adultery, and a little bit about divorce, but not that much about divorce. So, but he had me speak on that sexual activities. He kept me on the sexual relations, not knowing nothing. Then she called me after she called me. I'm trying to think. Because I was supposed, with the message, the sinful nature, I was supposed to speak on the spiritual nature, which was the fruits of the spirit. And the topic the Lord had gave me was spiritually minded. But when I went to go speak on that, Bishop stood up on me for me to sit down. So I didn't finish that message. And then the lights kind of went out. So not all the way out, but it was transparent. I knew it was God. It took me a while to catch it, but I knew it was God. Once she came and she told me that it was a doozy, she told me that she was pregnant. Right? So when she told me that, I was like, oh my God. I said, this is why. And she was like, yep. I said, this is why the Lord had me talking about that sinful nature. And spiritually minded. Because you're spiritually minded, you ain't going to get caught up in all that devilment. So now, she was pregnant. I told her to go to, because she was talking about, I don't care what nobody think, I don't care what nobody say, blah, 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 yes, this is me, and we having another one, and we going to do this, and we going to do, I mean, she was talking about all the stuff she was going to do, forgetting that God was listening to her. I don't care, Gerard's supposed to come, so let Gerard come, that's okay, and we'll be just up there together. We're going to have a family, blah, blah. I mean, she was talking all that foolishness. And I'm there and I'm listening and I was like, wow. She ain't got no respect for God. Who, in God's name, told you that that it's okay for you to go on and have a baby by somebody else, go get married, your husband is just as alive as you and me and mine, come and bring that husband in the church with your kids and start a whole new family, and now y'all up in the church and you walk around there talking about you saved, sanctified for the Lord. Not so. Just because some other people in the church did it. But let me tell you something. Those people in the church that did it, they ain't in the church. God took them right on out the church. Whether they wanted to go, God knew their mind, God knew what they was going to do, and God sent them on out to church. And when they came back in the church, there was so much, how can I say, so much tension and stuff going on between our leaders and that particular person, who's also a leader. Who he leading, I don't know, but he leading. And they didn't want that person to preach in the church. They didn't want that person to be any interaction with the church. But yet and still, when certain things was taking place in the church, they put them to be a part of them. They was on the program. So that's my thing. You contradicting yourself. You don't want to be a part, but yet and still you are a part. You don't like what's being done, but yet and still you condoning it. You sound like you double-minded and you don't know what you want to do. And the word said a double-minded person, a double-minded man is unstable in his ways. So you don't know what. That's why you're so confused. That's why they're so confused right now. Because they're double-minded from way back in 1990 so-and-so. And now here it is 2021 going into 22, and you didn't get worse. You ain't getting better, you getting worse. Why? Because you started out as being double-minded. You didn't clarify your mind. You didn't allow God to clean that mind and deliver that mind from all that devilment that's out there in the world, or deliver the mind from all the devilment that you think. And so now you satisfied. Okay, so going right along. So now, like, I think I'm 40 something. Let me see. I don't want to talk too much. I want to kind of like get to the point. Okay, 49. All right. So now she went and got pregnant. And once she went and got pregnant, now she want to tell me all this. And I love him, and we going to be like this, and we going to be like that. And I told her, I said, well, I got to see this. She said, what's... I said, I never really saw that. Not in my church, where somebody is married and the husband comes to the church and the wife is there with another man, or the husband is there with another woman. I never saw that in my church. Everybody that felt like they wanted to commit adultery, they stayed out there with their adultery. If they felt like they wanted to marry again, they stayed out there with their marriage. They didn't bring nobody else in that church. They may have, let me put it like this. They brought people in the church, but they wasn't a member of our church. It's like I said about that leader. He started out as a member of our church. Now he is a leader of his own church. So he don't even come to our church. So now, once I found out and realized and got the truth of the matter, then I started backing off from her. Meaning that when I would see her like going like she in the spirit and stuff like that, I just will sit there, because and don't get me wrong, if it's the Lord is going to show up and the Lord is going to manifest himself. I don't have to do nothing. You see what I'm saying? So I just let her go on, and eventually she hushed up and sat down, and eventually she don't do nothing. The Lord don't use her at all no more. Right? But when he was using her, he sent witnesses and he allowed things to come to pass based on what went down, whatever Sunday it was that he may have used her. So now, I forgot we were supposed to go to some place on 11. All right, so I had another thought. I went somewhere for a second. Let me come on back. Come on, let me wheel my brain back in. Okay, so now she called me. She started talking about the baby. She started talking about she know this and she know that. And the doctor don't know what he's talking about. And the doctor was telling her that we don't see nothing, but we'll wait. And she's like, we have to wait. And she's like, well, I know this and I know that and this is that. And I got this app. And I'm telling her, I said, listen. I listened to what she said. Then I said, what I think the doctor is trying to say. Right? Every pregnancy is different. I said, you have to understand you are an older woman now. So your body has changed. And the way it may... What? You don't see me sitting here?
No.
Is my door open?
Yeah. You're not locked in.
All right, give me I think I got more coffee in the kitchen. Pour some in here and heat it up in this one.
Heat it up. Okay.
Yeah, there's another cup in there. Pour some of the coffee in there, if not all, and heat that one up. So, I thought I locked that door. Guess I did, right? So, now she is telling me everything, and I'm telling her, I say, your body's different, and maybe that's what the doctor is seeing, that where your body was able to deal with the pregnancy when you was 20 or something years old. Now I think she's 40 or 39 or something like that. She in her late 30s. And I even was told, because I had Danielle in my late 30s, and I was told by the doctor that your body changes, so you don't have, your body don't have all the things that it had when you was 20, or all the things that you had when you was 19 to carry that baby, and to help that baby all the way. So as you get older, you lose some things. You don't know you losing it because that's the inside of your body. And you may not feel the loss until you get like 45, 40, whatever. So she just going, well, I know, Sister Jordan, I know. And yeah, you right, but that. So we let that go on. After a while, I ain't hear nothing. I ain't hear nothing for like 2 weeks. She ain't come to church one Sunday. She ain't come to church like for 2 Sundays. So I don't hear her. She don't call me. So now she calls me last week. I think it was last week. Right? And now she's talking to me and she's saying, well, we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again. So I don't know what she's talking about.
So I'm just listening. And yeah, it's okay. It's okay. The doctor said, the doctor said this, and, I was talking to my mother, and I had to cry, and it really got to me. This is hard. And I'm like, because she started off talking about her mother. So that's normal. So I'm listening to her talk about her mother. But then she jumped from her mother, and she started talking about herself. And I'm trying to see, well, what's going on, trying to figure out. In the back of my mind, I'm saying to myself, what she did, lose a baby? But I didn't want to say that because I don't want to put no jinx on her, so I ain't say nothing. So then she said something, and then I said something. All right, come on.
No, I've been inside, and I thought you went out or in auntie room.
I was right here. Thank you.
Also, Mama, can I have some water?
Yeah. And put one of them waters in the refrigerator. Freezer for me.
Okay.
Hurry up, because you interrupted my video.